Hey, y'all. Welcome
Welcome
to Shade
to
in
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, you know what we are. Well, you don't know. Let me tell you what we here to do today, okay? We here to get into All Her Fault season 1. And like the thumbnail says, this was crazy, okay? From start to finish, I was all over the place.
It did. It started off strong.
It did. It started off real strong. I can tell y'all, being real honest, I knew by episode 5. I was real sure who it was. I didn't falter. I didn't sway. I knew who did it. Okay. But we're gonna get into that. So if you're here and you haven't already, please go ahead. Make sure you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's go ahead. Let's run this intro and let's get into it. And let's get shady.
Like drip from the skyline pain. Shade in the city, true hits like a banger. I said it, I meant it, no need for disclaimers. Haters right away, but they just false claimers. Concrete beats are heavy like cinder. Looking for one, but the streets feel winter. No filters, no edits, I'm raw with my splinters. My life a movie, they watching the trailers. I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, the life and the mold. You like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. This is my word, I just let you inside. Shade in the city, I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, my words gon' console you. Like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, we are here to cover All Her Fault. If you have not seen it yet, then I definitely suggest, because there's going to be some spoilers in here, that you come back and watch the replay if you don't like spoilers, okay? But first off, let's talk about our main cast member who is supposed to be All Her Fault, Marissa Irvine. This is our main character energy here, okay, in the middle, played by Sarah Snook, which if you guys, I don't personally watch it, but my boo watches Succession, and she is one of the main players in Succession as well, so I quickly recognized her face. And then we have the character of Jenny, who is the friendly mom, which we'll get into it, played by Dakota Fanning, which is so crazy because I knew I recognized her face, but I guess because she's grown up now.
Anytime I see Dakota Fanning, I think of you when we were younger, and you said something like this girl is just like she's just like too grown for her age, and like she's just like too smart for her age.
Oh
like,
yeah, I can absolutely believe that I said that. Absolutely, because she was so young, but her delivery and her characters, I'd be like, okay, yeah, she too grown. She a little too. She won't bad. She was just too grown up for me. Okay, but yeah, y'all. So and then we have Mr. Peter Irvine, which is over here on my side on the right under Jenny, and he is the husband of Marissa. Okay, and Peter ain't. We gonna get into Peter. Peter ain't. All right. And then we have behind me, we have Lawrence. You know what? Let me make this easier for y'all. Then up here we have Lawrence. Well, that's not his real name, but I know him as Lawrence. He gonna always be Lawrence to me from Insecure. But the actor's name is what is his name? Oh, Jay Ellis, but he plays Colin, who is dating Peter's sister, who happens to be Leah. And we ain't got a picture of her. It's a lot. And then in the back here, next to Chanel, with the on the right, we got what's this? Detective Alcaraz. Am I pronouncing that right? Okay. And we have Detective Alcaraz. So basically, y'all, we kick off episode 1. They lead us into her dropping her son Milo off at school. Now, I'm going to tell you first, and it's terrible to say, but the first thing that I noticed, even before I knew like what the story was about, I said, why does that baby have very, very blonde hair and neither one of his parents are blonde? Did nobody else pay attention to that or be like, yeah, why does that baby have such blonde hair and his parents don't?
I don't really know how their genetics work.
Okay, because she's clearly, and I don't mean, she's a redhead. I'm not going to say that because I know that other term can be offensive, but she's a redhead. And obviously Peter, I think he's a brunette, or it's like a dirty, so it just didn't, I was like, why is this boy so blonde haired? So
like somebody else in the family or something.
well, I guess that's true, but that was, to me, that was the first, like, aha. So I mean, right. So basically, what happens? They start us off. She drops Milo off at school. She goes to pick him up because she believes that he's with Jenny's nanny, only to find out the nanny's like, I ain't no Milo here, girl. So she's like, what you mean? The nanny's real patient. She's like, let me help you. Let's call. Let's try to figure out. Maybe there's a mix-up. Something happened. So she called Jenny. Jenny said, not girl. Not girl. I don't know where you got that from.
She wasn't Jenny's nanny.
Oh, what was she then?
You talking about the older lady?
Yeah, what was she?
She wasn't involved at all. The one that actually took him was Jenny's nanny. She was.
Where did the old lady come from? Look, now I'm learning something.
She was related to the guy who was locked up, who had dated the one that took him. And that's
she dated Rob?
Yes. Yeah, but remember back in the day, he had got her pregnant.
Wow, I totally missed that then. Totally missed that. I swear, I do not remember that.
And that's why she wanted the kid back, and he was supposed to help her to get the kid back, but he didn't.
No. We're talking about the old lady.
That wasn't her nanny.
I know that what you're saying. I know, but who was she then? Why? How is she relevant?
Related to the guy that was locked up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she took him in. Well, she wasn't related to him, but that was like his foster mom.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, what are you talking? Okay, now that makes more sense to me. Okay. So yeah, so this lovely lady, I don't even remember her name because that's how insignificant she was to me.
Yeah,
but
she was in a few scenes.
Yeah, but I saw her in the beginning and I saw her in the end. But
I thought she was lying at first.
Oh, I thought she was lying too.
I thought he was in a basement somewhere, and I was like, but she being real helpful.
Yeah, she was, but see that I don't know. I don't watch too many Lifetime series to know that it be the ones that be the most helpful, that be the ones that be
normally they don't want to
have your baby in the basement somewhere.
That's true, but normally they don't want to keep you in their house for long, worried that the baby might make a noise or you might hear something. Normally they don't want to keep you in their house for long. So I was like,
I guess. So yeah, so she goes over to this lady house. You don't happen to remember the lady name, do you? No, you don't. So she go over to this lady house and she's like, he's not here. She's trying to help. And so needless to say, that's when we learn, because she's still trying to figure it out. Jenny's all worried. She runs home. Now, the whole time I was thinking, why haven't we contacted the police? Why are we running home when we know that's not where their mother is? Okay, so I was a little irritated with her as a mom because I felt like, to me, she wasn't displaying enough. And I understand maybe, I guess in that situation, you can be in shock because you know what I mean? You're really going through something. But I was just like, no, like somebody's head would have got knocked off. Like I would have pulled up to Jenny's house before I pulled up to my own house, knowing that my kid ain't there. So I don't know. That just kind of blew me a little bit. And I was like, okay, girl. Okay. So at first I really was thinking it was all her fault. And we basically end episode 1 with her having a conversation.
And she had to call someone else to get what's the girl's name? Jenny's phone number, because the number that was texting her wasn't even Jenny's. Remember, Jenny had sent her the address.
That's a very good point. And
that pissed me off.
That was another thing too. And when they were like, and we'll get more into it in episode 2, but I was like, how do you let your child go on a play date with somebody you barely know, you just met? Like, it was just, again, I left episode 1 feeling like, yes, it is your fault. It absolutely is your fault. I was mad as hell at her. All right, so then I think we can gracefully, we end episode 1 with basically her husband, Peter, saying the same thing, insinuating, yeah, just your fault. You effed up.
The nerve of him.
That's why I said this was good, because the way they, oh Lord, it was so good. It was so good. So then by the time we get to episode 2, right? You know, they decide we need to hold a press conference. They've contacted the police and they're like, we need to make everyone aware that Milo is missing because they've confirmed that, yes, Jenny's babysitter, what's the baby's name? Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, Carrie has run off with Milo. All right. And so is this when we were introduced to Anna? I don't know if it was episode 2 or 3, but they also have a nanny, Anna, and basically that's how she was able to work her way in to get close to Milo, because she was working for Jenny, but really hanging out with Anna, pretending to be friends, so she could get close to him. So it was a whole mastermind production that, again, I haven't seen a storyline like this since Lifetime. So they do the press conference and the press is like, hey, so, you know, why didn't you know where your son was? How well do you know this lady? Why are you still talking to this lady? And that was another thing for me. You were being real nice for the person. I understand that it's not her fault, but that is your babysitter. So I'm not saying I got to be angry with you, but what we not going to be is be chummy. Thank you for your support, deuces. But that's just me.
I love that Detective Alcaraz wasn't, like, he also put some of the, I don't want to say blame, but basically like on Peter too. Like,
right.
Okay, you picked him up, you set this up, and you was, so where were you doing? Exactly.
Yeah, I could appreciate that.
She normally handles all of that.
Right. And so, yeah, so they get a lot of scrutiny at the press conference. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it gets so bad. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like at this point, this is when Peter got the phone call before the press conference, letting him know, yeah, we got your son or something like that. And basically, he knows before he gets up on this stage that they're about to rip his wife a new one, and he don't say nothing. He just sits back and watches it happen, and then go apologize afterwards, talking about something. Well, I knew, but I thought I could save you from it, but there was just no way for me to help. And I was like, "I'm sorry,
give him some soy right now."
Right. But yeah, I was done with Peter. I was like, so at this point, I'm like, Peter's cheating. You know how Peter's cheating. Something's not right. Peter's cheating. Everybody cheating at this point. Because at this point, I thought Jenny's husband was cheating, because Jenny's husband, I guess, is supposed to be a professor or something like that. And she's this big publisher. Mind you, this whole story.
I thought he was too. And she was like, oh, I found it. I seen his car over at the park. I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Shit, at that point, he might as well have been better off cheating.
I was about to say the same thing.
If you're going to do all that to ignore your family, I mean, because either way, it still ended in divorce. So, but yeah, so, I mean, I feel like episode 2 was mainly like the press conference, the scrutiny, and them really starting to investigate, okay, who is this girl and why would she want your son? Okay. And so that's when episode 3 happens. And I think I forgot to talk about the brother. So the brother, let me look at his name because I don't remember. The brother is Brian. The brother is in a wheelchair because Brian's dope. So Brian is in a wheelchair. Peter doesn't want him to use the wheelchair because he's like, no, you need to walk. You need to be self-sufficient. But he's suffering from some type of spinal injury that we learn later on. We were told in the beginning that his sister Leah caused it when they were younger, but that might not be what had happened. Okay.
And apparently, Peter wanted him to take his prescription pills to keep him dependent on that, and that's when he did that, he was able to walk because he wasn't in pain.
Yeah. And I felt what he was saying. He was like, I don't like this. This makes me sick. Another thing that caught my attention was the Colin.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually very surprised to find out that Colin was messing with Leah, only because for a second I thought him and Marissa had something going on, because I was just like, they way too close.
Oh,
They way too close. Like, even when Milo first went missing and how he came in and embraced her and was like, I was like, it's giving a little work husband tease. Just saying. But yeah, so I'm sorry, let me go back to my little bit of notes. And so yeah, so Peter starts to take things into his own hands, and he gets a call and for the ransom, and so he decides he's gonna go to the bank, and the police are like, have you gotten a ransom? Have you gotten a no one's called.
He even hid it from his wife.
So they out here,
they plenty things from her.
Right. They still getting beat up in the press. And then what I want to understand is, I don't know if he mentioned it. I know he said something. Where did the book deal come from? Remember they mentioned that about in the press conference, and they were like, oh, so we heard that you were trying to write a book or something like that. And Is this all for, publicity or something like that? And I was like, wow.
I do remember that.
But I just can't understand. Like, I don't remember anything being said like that over the phone to him. And it just came out at the press conference. So it just makes me think, like,
I don't really remember.
I don't know. Well, look, it'll come to you before the end. Okay. So then we see Detective Alcaraz. He actually has his own challenges. We see his home life. He is married. It looks like his wife may be a nurse. And so, of course, they're probably both like middle class, working people. And they have a son that I want to say special needs. I don't know what his situation is, but I do know he was special needs. So they're really fighting hard to get their son into the school, and so he can thrive, right? His wife is kind of like, I love my child, but it's taking a lot on me and both of them as parents, right? Mm-hmm. And so they want to get him into the school. And so the school, one of the people on the school board, I guess the dean or somebody, was like, well, the only way you can get him in or assure him a way in is basically if you make some charges go away.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody, one of their little colleagues or whatever.
I think it was somebody at the school's son or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And so he was like, nah, I ain't that type of guy. That's not my speed. So
I think he wanted to make the bottle of pills. He said make them act. He said that he told the police that they were like Tylenol or something.
Right.
It's like, they could actually be Tylenol. Like basically telling him like you could just make them Tylenol before they get tested.
Is that what okay, see, I'm so mad that went over my head.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought he was saying,
he was like, of course they're not. Like he's like, but you can make them Tylenol. Like
I'm over my head.
I remember he went up in the cabinet and got the bottle of Tylenol because it was before they tested them. You remember when he went up in the cabinet and took the Tylenol out later on in the season?
Did he?
Yes.
Not Detective Al. I thought he did. He was right.
And then the next day, and then I think he texted him telling him it's done or something like that. And then the next day, the wife called him and was like, he got in. It's because he made it go away. He changed the pills to Tylenol.
Did I watch this?
Right? You be multitasking though. So
but no, I was really glued in this one because detail was so important. I'm like, what in the hell? But I did not remember it. I do remember him getting Tylenol, but I didn't put the two things together. I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I literally thought when he said that, like, oh, it could be Tylenol, like wink, 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 like he was just saying.
It was because the kid told the officer that it was Tylenol.
Right. And so I figured he would just be like, yeah, make it Tylenol. You know what I'm saying?
And he did. He snuck back in that building and turned it and switched it out for Tylenol.
Detective Alcaraz, I'm looking at you so different now.
I'm not, because initially he didn't want to do it, but then he saw how much his son needed help. And I mean, and honestly, he took longer than I would have. to make that call.
And so during this time, and I'm sure this started to happen before where I'm at now, episode 4, but basically that's when we also start to see the breakdown of Jenny and what is her husband, Richie. Jenny and Richie's marriage. Because Richie, I don't want to say he a bum. He's just one of those. He's just not really, he's not very attentive. He basically tries his best to get away from her and the son. He's very resentful of her career. And so he makes up places to go and things to do, even when she's like, I have legit meetings. I can't pick him up. She's asking the old bougie, nasty little gossiping Sarah to watch her child for her, which I'm sure she despises.
And because they're always
in her face about the fundraiser.
Yes, about the fundraiser.
But I was just so upset with him because I was like, I can understand if it was like a weekend or something, but like she legitimately has something to do for work and you are just making things up. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to watch your own child. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
And then when you do watch him, you leave this huge ass mess for her to still have to come home and tend to after she's been out all day.
And all this, it begins to unravel because, of course, their nanny is now gone. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, once I started to see that, I said, oh. And so we do see the first meeting between these two ladies, Jenny and Marissa. They ended up meeting at some little bougie, probably fundraiser event for the kids' school, and they were hiding in the bathroom. And they ended up being in the same dress, which I wonder if that was real or if that was set up too.
What do you mean?
Like, I wonder, just because Carrie was so calculated, I wonder if she Marissa had the dress and then she went and put the same dress in Jenny's closet or something like, because she was real good. She was real good. So it makes me think that
how would she know what dress Marissa had or that she was going to wear?
Remember, she was studying them for a while. That's how she knew to go try to be the nanny for them.
She had never been in their house.
Don't matter. All she had to do was see her out in the street.
And know what dress she was going to wear to a function.
How many times we don't wore the same dress to a different event? As long as we ain't seen by the same people.
Who, me and you?
No, not me. I'm just saying general. People do it. People repeat outfits, especially when you ain't around the same people. Different event.
I don't know, Trace. I think that's a reach.
I'm just saying. Look, based off this story, it's not too far off, damn it. What you're not going to tell me is we're going to go all the way crazy, and that can't be applied. So that's how they end up meeting, which that's what makes the story even crazier, because then you realize she never had the lady's number. She literally met her in a bathroom. They really have not talked beyond that.
They just vibed. They really that night they just vibed.
Right. But not, you know how I feel.
What you mean?
I can't leave my kids with anybody. Vibe. I don't give a damn.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you meant about that night. I was like, girl, as soon as you was in there breaking down and she said, look, I'm gonna go get us some wine and come back in here so we can talk, you'd have been like, oh, okay, girl, I like you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But guess what wouldn't happen?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't play those games. The play date would have been at my house. If we would have had that, because girl, I just met you. I don't even know if I like you for real like that. We just had a moment. Mm-hmm. But they do end up being good friends. So then I think we are probably at about episode 5 now. So that's when we get into Rob Murphy. Okay. And Rob Murphy ends up being Carrie's daddy. So as they're looking for Carrie and they're kind of like digging through her past, and they're like, yeah, and they end up, I think, finding her mama. Wasn't that it? And they question the mama. Mm-hmm.
Well, they
And
ain't
so
get much out of her, but they tried.
yeah. So they went because I ain't even get the mama name because that's how she was barely there. But basically, they found Rob unalive in a hotel room, and so they're wondering like, well, why is he unalive? What happened? Who would want to take him out? And then of course, and he's Carrie's daddy. So they like, oh, so this is the second body they found. I'm sorry. So now we got to go back because I forgot that Carrie's little boyfriend. I do not remember his name. Maybe you do. Let me go on my IPMD and see if I can figure out what was a man name. It won't Victor. It won't him. Look, that's how much they don't care about him. Because his name is not up here.
I don't see it on what I'm looking at either.
Damn, that's how much they cared about his character. Well, all right. Well, Carrie's boyfriend, that's what we're gonna give him. Sorry, sir, we didn't do it to you. The people did. All right. But Carrie's boyfriend, they found him unalive in a what was in a hotel? Oh no, in the back of a car? In a car? Where did they find the boyfriend?
I thought he was in the water. Wasn't he? Didn't he get thrown in the water or something?
I was gonna say I thought he got thrown in the water or
yeah. I think they found his blood in the room.
So yeah, so we're gonna get there. So right now they believe she got two bodies.
Is it Brian? No. Oh, that's the brother. My bad.
Yeah, Brian's brother.
Who's Brendan?
Girl, I ain't even gonna sit here and hold you and act like. Okay, hold on, let me see. Maybe. Motel. Look, they got the names of the motel workers. Sam's teacher.
That is horrible.
Is it Brendan? Look, they even got her mama name, Irene Murphy. His name is not girl. They clearly did not like this man. Because his name is nowhere to be found. And if y'all find it, y'all can drop it in the comments. Who played Carrie's boyfriend? Because they damn sure ain't.
Oh no, that's the daddy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, so basically we learned that the boyfriend, we skipped to about episode 6, and I think that's where we start to break down. Milo is found. He comes home after they find the dad in the hotel room. They find Milo in the trunk of an abandoned car. In a bag, like literally in a bag in the trunk of a car. And he's safe, thank God. So of course they return him home. You know, Marissa, Peter, they're just overjoyed, but obviously she's shaken because she's like, she's not gonna leave us alone. She's gonna come back looking for my son. And and so basically she wants her to be found. And so that's when we learn that your girl, her daddy unalived the boyfriend. Daddy done unalived the boyfriend because he just really didn't care for him anyway. But, you know, and had left his daughter.
And he would have messed up the whole scheme. He was trying to get money for that little boy.
Who?
The daddy.
Oh.
Rob. He was trying to get money for the little boy, and what's his face? Whatever the boyfriend's name was, he wasn't about to go. He wasn't about to go with that. So
because they were. And so basically what we learned, y'all, is that Carrie is crazy. But she been crazy. She been crazy for a while, okay? Since childhood. They give us throwback.
I mean, they're not crazy.
Special.
You talking about like with the colors and stuff?
No, I'm just saying, but just like her way of thinking was special. I'm not talking about the colors and the taste. I'm talking about her logic and reasoning.
She said, "It's my baby, and you stole him from me. I'm gonna steal his ass back."
Okay. So
once I learned that, I said, "Look, well, I mean, I can't call the girl crazy no more." Look, I think even the mama understood.
Well, I do
think even more understood.
But finally, and then during this time, we learned that the babysitter, Anna, I would have whooped her. And I'm sorry, with nothing could have kept me off her. I don't care about legality. I might have to serve some time, but I would have whooped Anna's ass, okay? Because how dare you? I trust you with my son, and here you are letting him run around with something that I don't know.
So for me, it wasn't even that, right? Because apparently all the nannies.
And so I wasn't mad about the milkshake.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about that. It was the marathon. It was the marathon situation for me.
It was so. It was the keeping the marathon. It was for me. It was all the secrets.
It was all the secrets when you knew he was missing. Like she didn't say anything until he was missing. Like after 5 days. Like even when she talked to the police, I was so.
And for you to say you never knew this girl, you never talked to this girl. They had to look at receipts and find out with timestamps that y'all was really getting together. So for me, it wasn't the hanging out. It wasn't the inviting her. It was the secrets. Because even if she would have told Marissa, hey, I know this other nanny, and she's gonna bring. Well, I would assume that she would have brought the boy, but I guess not. Whatever. But she's friends with Milo and Milo's little friend or whatever. Like, she wants to join us for the marathon. Cool, but the fact that it was like a secret is what made it weird to me.
And honestly, for a second, I ain't even gonna hold you. I thought Anna was in on it too.
I thought so too.
I absolutely thought she was a
part. There was a few people I thought was in on it. I thought Colin was in on it at one point.
Oh, and so that it's so many things, y'all. That's why I said this is so good. If you have not watched it, absolutely go do so, because everybody got some shit with them, and somehow, some way, they end up going down these rabbit holes, but it all ties in together. And I think that was the best part of this whole thing. So Colin apparently has a gambling addiction, and why Marissa went into business with him when they are involved in finance is beyond me. But again, clearly Marissa does not make the smartest decisions. So she goes into business with him. We learned during this that Colin has been stealing some money from her or from the business. And he's, again, dating Peter's sister, Leah, who is a former rug addict.
Yeah, for me, it was he had previously stole money from the company. Now he's working on her account and took money from her account. Oh, yeah, I definitely thought he was involved.
Yeah. And then what the crazy part, before they can connect the dots and figure out who Carrie is and why they find Mr. Chip. Is it Mr. Chips? The frog?
Yes, the frog, yeah.
So Mr. Chips is this little stuffed frog that Milo loves and carried around with him everywhere. And apparently, while they were off at Easter weekend on travel, and that was another thing that bothered me, that little boy was sitting outside by himself and nobody knew where he was. That was wild to me. And so Carrie's able to come up to him, walk right up to him, and she happened to be there with her daddy.
First time meeting.
I think, yes, that was that first time meeting. And then they talked about, how they share similarities with, things, sounds taste like colors and colors taste like textures, and I don't know, all that other shit. But they have a special
connection.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. So yeah, it was just so many.
Very rare. It was something that was also very rare,
right? And they said it's really, and it's hereditary.
Yeah, and it
so you have to inherit
some antennas for her.
And so then Peter is a douchebag, because Peter spends pretty much, I'd say, from episode 3 to episode 8, he spends this time talking down to Leah, trying to make her feel bad about, like, I literally thought we were going to lose Leah this series, because the way he kept talking to her, I said, she's going to relapse in OD. The way he kept trying to, and I felt like that's what he wanted. I really felt like, and yet at the same turn, he'd come and be like, I love you. I love taking care of you. And then at the same thing at Colin's joint, He's like, yeah, well, you know, this is all your fault, right? Like, just wild. But Peter is accusing Leah of having some type of drug scenario going on, and that's why the baby went missing. Either way, it's just all over the place, and he ain't never in the wrong. He mad at Jenny. He don't want Jenny coming over to keep Marissa company. Now, that's the one thing I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't mad at him about. I respected that because y'all a little too friendly for me. But it was just real interesting. So finally, we get into the backstory of our girl Carrie. Carrie was pregnant. We see her basically what looks like living under a bridge in like a trailer home with her mans in them that they never gave us his name.
It was the guy.
No, I know, but we don't know his name.
Oh, you're talking about when we look it up.
Yeah, we don't know his name.
On the show, they never gave us his name.
They did, but we don't know it. We can't do that. So her and her boyfriend are living under a bridge, and he gets caught up. They obviously were already pregnant, and so they already didn't have it. But you know, young love, and that's why I said the way her mind worked.
But she was out there spending it, boo. She had her mama's credit card. She got a credit card on her mama's name, and she was out there spending to get the babies.
Got everything in her mama's name.
Exactly.
And so she was using her mama's credit card to run it up, throw it in the bag for this baby. And she gets home one day with all this baby stuff, car stuff, only to find that this man is in the back of a police car and he getting ready to go to jail. I forgot what the charges were, but it was pretty bad because he won't come home for like a good 2-3 years or something like that. So during this time, after
all this stuff was supposed to go, though, they had a little trailer.
I don't know. And then after she beat out the trailer, I was confused on, I don't believe in damaging my own stuff when I'm angry.
Especially where you got to live.
Maybe he bought the trailer. That's why she don't give a damn. But so then we move on and we see that she had a baby. She had the baby. Baby was healthy. She leaves the hospital and we see her get into a car accident. Okay. She gets into a car accident. At this same time, this is when we learn that Marissa and Peter were involved in this car accident with her.
With their baby in the car.
With Milo. What they think is Milo is in the car, right? So Marissa is unconscious in the back seat. Peter says baby is just completely gone. He hears what we know to now be baby Milo crying in the other car, which is Carrie's car. So he decides to go over, take the baby,
and swap them out.
And just act like, it is what it is. And I mean, of course, he won't go say anything to his wife. But he's been on this secret for a minute. And so now we can kind of understand, because honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, even up until this episode, which would have been episode 7, I was still thinking that he screwed her or something. And that's why I was like, so maybe they did have a baby together and he left her. Like I didn't think all this. So we learned he swapped the babies out. So Carrie, now that they got Milo back, like Marissa thought, she ain't gonna leave him alone. Baby, come back. She spun the block. Okay. She show up at Marissa's house with a pow on her hand, snuck in the house, even after all of this, and they got new security systems, but it was damn Colin and Leah that left that damn door unlocked. I absolutely clocked that. So she come in the house, got them at pow point, and then she was pointing at Peter. So that's why I said, oh, he done hunched that girl. I said, tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell us, girl, tell us. Daddy hunched you. And then that's when she say, oh no, I know what you did. Maybe not last summer, but I know what you did. Okay. And so, and Peter's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And before she can even get it out, he ends up pow.
He tried to act like he was wrestling the the peace from her.
Oh, and in the midst of this, poor Colin / Lawrence gets pow, and now he down for the count. It's over. All right. So poor little Leah is just really going through it because her brother's a dick. Her man just unalive. You know, it's just terrible. It's a terrible situation going on in this house. Okay. So then, you know, Detective Alcaraz. Now, again, I'm looking at you sideways, but he show up and he's like, yeah, so, you know, what happened? You know, did she really try to come for you? Because the ballistics and stuff like that, that's not giving that. And they're like, you know, yeah, that's what happened. But you could tell Marissa is like, nah, you shot that lady. You shot that lady. So finally, this is when Peter, I said, I knew it. When I tell y'all from episode 5 to now, I knew it. Because I said, he is just too much of a dick. He is a terrible husband. And I'm going to be honest with you, for a second, I thought he set it up. Because that's how grimy he is and how much he wants to feel needed. Literally, the whole time, like I said, from episode, I said Munchausen.
You know what you forgot to mention?
What?
Come to find out, he's the one that actually is the reason why his brother.
Oh, that the brother is hurt. Well, we find that out after Colin is getting, or we find out during this, you know. But yeah, no, I really believe he has a case of Munchausen syndrome. I think that he needs to feel, because even how he started acting with Milo and no, you need daddy for the scissors. Like, so I could have absolutely seen him setting this up to like make Marissa feel like you need me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's that demented in the head. So now Marissa, now this is the one thing I did not like. Detective Alcaraz is like, look, is everything cool? You got something you want to tell me? And she's just like, no. And I guess at that point she was so scared because she's like, if you're capable of this, then I know what you're capable of. I done already seen you, because this was this the second? I know he took out, what's the name? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she did. Okay, and so that's another thing, y'all, that I missed. Thank you, Nels. This man went by to see Rob, and Rob, you know, Carrie's daddy, thinking he was gonna collect some money and return his son. And what actually had happened was and that's what I'm saying, he left him. That's why I can understand why Marissa was mad. She was like, so you went, pow-powed him, unalived him, and then still left our baby in a trunk?
And got caught up getting recorded.
Y'all, Peter, I can't even say his dumbest criminals ever, because he was good for a minute. He was good. It was real calculated, manipulative. It was real good. So then we're going to move on. Finally, Marissa confides in Jenny, and she like, girl, this nigga crazy. Real crazy. And I'm scared. And so we kind of see them, you know, their wheels turning. At this point, Jenny has decided, you know what? Where's my divorce? She's like, I want a divorce, because what you're not going to do is have me out here hustling like I'm Rick Ross, and you up here sitting in your car eating Cheetos and Funyuns and shit, looking at the beautiful view of the beach. How dare you? So yeah, so her and her husband getting divorced, and I think she ends up finding a new nanny. And so
yeah, it is being the old lady.
Oh yeah, you're right. So then the funeral situation comes up for Colin.
This is my favorite. I think one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. Oh no, this was definitely my favorite. So the funeral comes up. Like I said, Peter was being very nasty to everybody, including his brother, who said, you know what? I'm moving out. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to live under your rule. I ain't got it to do. Then he misdirects his anger as usual and takes it out on his sister and just tries, you know, takes every opportunity he can to take jabs and say nasty shit to her, because that's who he is. And so Marissa, and I didn't clock it at first, But I saw her kind of like circling the hors d'oeuvres, the horse divers. But I was like, I ain't thinking of it. Well, baby girl had a plan. Okay. So what we did, I don't think I do remember them mentioning something early on. And that's why I say, if you watch this, little things are key, because then you'll be like, oh. So apparently
about his allergy.
So apparently Peter is allergic to soy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the things that have soy in them. I don't be looking at ingredient cards like that. But I guess if you were, you would. And apparently Marissa is the one that's responsible for managing these things. Also responsible for making sure he has his EpiPen. And I didn't know what she was doing when she went up in that cabinet. But when they played it back, I said, oh, girl. And all the stuff that he needs should he have an allergic reaction, right? So she tells him, oh, and I just really, I want to get past this and I want to move forward as a family. And, she goes to give him a big kiss. Only for, at this point, he starts to like, I'm sure his lips started tingling and his tongue probably started swelling. And he starts to have a reaction because she's eating soy. And so he tries to find his EpiPen, but the EpiPen is expired and outdated. And she's like, well, I guess I just been so busy with everything going on. I guess I just forgot.
He said something like, it's your responsibility. She said, it is.
It is, man. And so that's when basically Leah runs to call 911 and try to get them help. But they're like 8 minutes away. And literally, I felt like won't nobody going to try to lay him down, give him CPR. Like, they just literally sat there and watched that man pass away.
Ain't nothing they could do.
Put some water down his throat.
His airways were closing up.
You can't wash it down, wrench it down. Can't wrench it. You can't wrench it down.
Wrench what?
Wrench it down.
Wrench what down?
Like, drink some water. Wrench the soy down.
Trees, his throat was closing.
That's why you gotta hurry up and get some water and wrench it down.
Boo. If air can't go down there, water ain't going down there. Ain't no oxygen.
Thank God. And I'm poking fun, but I only have. I was gonna say I really have no food allergies. No, I might be lactose intolerant, but that type of stuff I ain't got. So I don't know, and I feel bad for anybody that has to go.
They said 8 minutes. I said, oh,
he's a goner. Right.
And he was.
And so that's when
Detective Alvarez, this man, he's just too smart for his own damn good.
Right. That's when we see Detective Alvarez. He starts to connect the dots, and he realizes that Milo has the same, because he's taking his son to the school now, and he realizes that Milo has the same kind of intricacies that Carrie had, special, you know what I'm saying? And so he's like, oh, so he comes to Marissa and he's like, look, you can be honest with me, because at this point case is closed, but
he didn't have to say nothing. He basically laid it all out for her.
Oh yeah, he laid it out. I love it.
And left her too stunned to speak. And got up.
You know what? And that's where I would have stayed. Too stunned to speak. I don't care what you come in here and think you gonna make me confess to. I didn't say that.
Exactly. She was just like.
But yeah, so and then Marissa and Jenny go on to live their best single lives without they, trash ass husbands, and live happily ever after. And I wonder if I would wonder if we're even gonna get a season 2, because there was no real continuation. So it would have to be a whole new story.
I was just about to say it would have to be a whole new story, because this was, and I love when it's like this, where you get it all in one.
Yeah, you just wrap it up in a bow and close it off. But yeah, y'all. So yeah, that was this episode. Season. I'm sorry. Of All Her Fault. Thank you for joining us. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit that like button.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe
and hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, the IG, and the Blue Sky. And yeah, y'all, and we will catch you later for another round or something. All right. Love y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.